Hello, welcome back to My Life's Toil with me, Neil. Thank you for coming back, and thank you if you're just joining me. I am halfway through my 6th week of using Mounjaro weight loss injections, which are going really quite well. I usually update on Saturday, but as I said yesterday, I had to work, so it is Sunday today. So it's sort of still halfway through week 6 for me. I am now on my second 5 mg jab of Mounjaro. And this is the update. So I'll be doing some weights, measures, and also a question and answers slot today, and some really good tips. Not huge amounts of questions, but some really good advice from people in the community that we're forming here. So thank you again for that. I have already done my measurements, so we'll go through them now. So here I am in the measuring room, also known as the kitchen. Wanted to mention, has anyone got any of these tapes? If you've been on previous plans before, and I was on all of that at one point in the past, you get these tape measures, and as you do your measurements, your waist measurements, it tells you if you're in certain brackets, like in the white area is healthy. Then you've got the yellow area, which is more of a increasing health risk, and then obviously the red area, which is high risk for health problems, depending on you. Now it's not exact science, but if you're well into the red, like I still am, it was a bit of a wake-up call, really. Although my weight measurements are slightly coming down, the weight's doing well, but the waist measurement isn't, as we'll see shortly. It's still well in the red, and we'll get into that. So onto the actual measurements. I was thinking, because I'm only just over a month and a half or so in, I might start measuring my chest measurements as well, because there's still a bit of weight around here. And I'm not measuring much, so I'm going to start with that as well today. So let's get on with that. In fact, I'll do the chest one now. It's not easy to do your own chest measurement, so if you can get someone else to help, that would be good. So I'm going to go literally into the armpits. And we'll do that, just relax everything down, because that's the best way to do it. And so starting measurement for my chest measurement, bang on 50 inches. So I'll record that. Then let's get onto the tummy. So yeah, as you know, if you've watched me before, I always go, and some people say just below the belly button, but I'm going across the belly button because that's the bit that sticks out the most, and that's where I think I'll probably see more changes. So this week's measurement for this is, where are we? 47. I don't think that's changed from last week. That was 47 last week as well, wasn't it? But I'm not going to be too disheartened by that, because we discussed, didn't we, last week, about the visceral fat, which is hardest to get rid of, and that's what this is going to be. Initially, obviously, there was some loss, because there would still be some of the subcutaneous fat, which is first to go, isn't it? So I'm not going to be too disheartened with that. So yeah, 47 was the same as last week. I've just got my notes. But yeah, we'll work on it. It'll come. Let's do the thigh. Thigh's not moved much since the first few weeks, actually, but we'll do it anyway. The starting for the thigh was 29.5 and is now, it is now 27 and a bit. So I think it was 27.5 last week, wasn't it? But that's still, yeah. My legs are firming up. I know that, because obviously going to the gym, doing a lot more walking and a lot more exercise. So that's the measurements done. But the important thing really is, of course, the measurements matter, but the weight is the thing that we all measure ourselves by, really, don't we? And it's a bit of a momentous day for me. It's a big thing, and I'll tell you why. My starting weight, I keep saying this every week, but I like to remind ourselves, 135.6 kilos, 299 pounds, 21 stone, 5 pounds. And stones over here, what most people tend to use in the UK, but I'll say all of them because we can all relate. Today, 120.4 kilos, 265 pounds, 18 stone, 13 pounds. And that for me is why it's a bit of a big day, really, because it's been a long time since I've been in the 18 stone bracket. And okay, I'm a pound into it, but I'm 18 stone something, as opposed to in the past I've been 22 stone something. So it's just humongous for me. And that's allowed me. People have been asking what my target weights have been. My target weight is, and I hadn't really set one because, and I think it's, again, the old me. It sounds almost daft, but it's been pointless in the past for me to set a target weight because I've never, ever achieved my target weight on the diet. But I've set one now. I've set 17 stone, and that might be over ambitious. But with using this Mounjaro and seeing the results, I think it's achievable. And I want to use that as positivity for the people out there watching, and that it's working for. And I know some people are struggling, but stick in there. I think it will help. But for me, it makes it seem realistic now. Yeah, the measurements aren't going to plan, but it's coming off me. I mean, this t-shirt was a lot tighter on me. Well, this polo shirt was a lot tighter on me a while back, and it's not that old. So it's coming off. I'm losing. My skin's getting a bit. I'm noticing the difference. Let's say that. Yeah, my tummy's still big. That's the visceral fat that we talk about. But the weight's going down, and I feel better. I can move more. I'm not getting out of breath as much as I did. So total losses anyway. See how we can waffle on, can't I? Total loss: 15.2 kilos on day 40. 33 pounds, 2 stone, 6 pounds. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how it's going. So use this and just grab some of this positivity and run with it, please. Honestly, it can work for you. There's people out there, and I'm going to get to the questions and answers and the comments. People have been dropping some ideas for alternative foods. I mentioned this optimizing that Slimming World do, and a similar thing, really. I've had some really interesting feedback, and there's some things in the pipeline that people have been in touch with me about to help with weight loss, and we're going to get to that. But let's get on to the questions and answers. First question, I'm not going to mention names. And if you want your name mentioned on the videos, let me know if you've got a question. But I won't mention them at the moment, just to keep people sort of anonymous, really. But someone's put, can you tell me how I can please take the pen out without bending the needle? I am a needle phobic, and since the week I bled and cut my skin, every needle comes out bent. I know it's me doing something wrong. That sounds a little bit concerning, that does, because all of these needles, they should be clinically absolutely the highest standard. And I looked a little bit into this, and I've seen a few people having similar issues with bent needles and things like that. And I don't know where they are injecting to, and I'd like to follow up on this with them, and I will do if they can respond to me. I know of people having problems with bending the needles when they self-inject in the upper arm, which we're not really supposed to do. The advice with the upper arm is always to get someone else to do it, because you're overreaching and you'll be going in at funny angles. If you can do that and it works for you, then fine, just be careful. But ideally, and this is why I always go in the abdomen, because it's there, it's straightforward. You can even do it sitting down, nice and relaxed. Always go in at a right angle, so square onto the skin. So if this is your skin, you're going like that. Never go in at an angle. Keep it that way, stay that way. Be nice and confident when we do it. Don't move the pen around when it's in the skin. So don't go in like that and then bring it out like that. Just straight in, slow plunge, few moments, and bring it out straight as well. Now, this is teaching people to suck eggs, I know, but if people are getting a little bit worried about how they do it and a little bit panicky, like we all can, doing certain things, I can understand moving around and being a bit wobbly when we do it. So just really have that bit of confidence. It should be absolutely fine. But I'd like, if anyone's having problems with this, just to shout up, put it on the comments, and let us know. We've got a really community spirit out here at the moment, and it's really nice to see. And I will always try and help. And this is horrible because it would really put you off, wouldn't it? It really would. And the next question is someone that just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. That's absolutely fantastic. Just picked up my 2.5 for Mazda private pharmacy. Where would you recommend I inject first? Totally up to you, but I'm glad that question's been asked because I'm hearing lots of people are saying they get different results and different feelings on the medication dependent on where they are injecting, which I find really interesting because it should be the same wherever it goes. But I don't disbelieve what people are saying. I've heard that people that inject into the arms get more cravings earlier. I hear that the legs aren't quite as good as injecting into the abdomen. I've only injected myself into the tummy. So let me just explain. The tummy is easy. If we're on diets, the chances are we've all got a bit of a tummy on us. I've got a bit more than others. 5 centimeters away from the belly button, either side. Always alternate the sides. If you can go on the same side, just keep it away from the site where you were before. Things to look out for: if there's any bruising, any redness or swelling of the skin, avoid it, go somewhere else. The reason for that is if you've got bruising, if you've got reddening, if you've got any sign of infection or soreness or swelling, it can stop the medication from being absorbed into the body. The body's already trying to fix itself, so we're sending all sorts of things there to try and fix itself. And anything going in, it will just try and repel and it'll stay there and not do much. That's it in a nutshell. It can get more medical than that. If you're safer, if you feel happy to go into the thigh, just into the fatty area of the thigh, we're only injecting into the subcutaneous fat, literally in the skin, the lower level of the skin. This isn't a massive thing to do. But as I said before, be confident. Don't be overconfident and just go on, do it, because you'll rush things, and it's so methodical, and it just feels like a little bit of pressure. It really isn't like, it's nothing like the jabs that you go and get the doctors when you have your vaccines and things. The reason why I had to work yesterday and the reason why I'm doing this on a Sunday over in the UK here, it's COVID season. So I was called in to help with doing the COVID jabs. That's what I was doing all day yesterday. So apologies for the video being a day late. For the next month, they probably will be on a Sunday, if that's okay with people, just so you know. So I'll be on here Wednesdays and Sundays. But that was a good question. It was good because it's new people coming along, and we get a little bit complacent as we go along. We know certain people that have been on the jabs for a long time, they're experts in it. They really are, especially administering the injections for themselves. And we can get a bit complacent, and we see some of these questions as, oh, no, you'll be fine. But we need to put ourselves back in that place, don't we? Because we were all nervous at one time when we first did it. I know I was. Next question. Am I mad to hope that we can get through this without Senna-esque products? The only downside to Mounjaro for me is the constipation. Yes, you're absolutely mad. You're going to get constipation. No, of course not. Some people get the side effects, others don't. Some people get nausea, some people get constipation. Some people, lucky sods, don't get absolutely anything and they get really good results. We are all different, and that's what makes the world go round, isn't it, apparently? Yeah. Start off, we know, lots of fluids, increase your fibre. Try fibre gel, someone mentioned to me. That's in the UK here. I'm sure it's available around the world. I think it's something like fibre gel, which is like a supplement that we can take to increase the fibre, help us go. Things like magnesium glycinate, I think, is the better one. For your tummy, helps with the digestive system, something available over the counter. Senna is an over the counter medication as well. You can go back to the old-fashioned methods like prunes, those type of fruits, things like that, canned fruits that can help make us go. If you're really struggling to go, you might need to go and speak to someone and get something prescribed. But yeah, it is. If you're getting good results, it's a small price to pay, I think. But it is annoying and it can get worrying. It can get a bit painful and a bit uncomfortable at times. But yeah, initially, plenty of fluids, lots of water, and make sure you increase your fruit and fibre. That's the questions for this week. If you do have any questions that I can help with or the community can help with, and I'll show you what I mean by the community helping, because I was asking last week about certain things to get a quick fix. By that I mean something to eat, because I'm a chocoholic, and if you watch my last video, I had quite a humorous episode where it was the case of the chocolates. Did I have one? Did I not? And I did not. It was a Mother's Day box of chocolates. I won't go on about it too much. But this person, and again, let me know if you do want to be mentioned on the channel, gave some really good feedback here. It's quite funny because I'd done some shopping on the day, and they mentioned that protein chocolate mousse from Aldi or My Protein are superb replacements and huge amounts of protein, low sugar and carbs. I tend to have them at the end of the day. I'm not fasting, but within my daily deficit. And good luck, thank you, and good luck to you too. Really good idea. I'd seen these because I'd got another couple of the pouches from Aldi that Trev had mentioned before, just to have as and when. I'm still mostly having my Huel drink. But I looked at these and I thought, oh, they might be good. And it was just funny that these were mentioned. So if you're able to get them from Aldi's, give them a go. I'm not affiliated, but give them a go. There are some things on the horizon about some, not supplements so much, but low calorie flavorings that I might be discussing with you in the next few weeks. It looks really exciting. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And the next bit of advice from the community: if you need chocolate, have you tried salted caramel? I love salted caramel. Oh my God. Grenade bars. Very low sugar and high protein. Expensive, but a game changer for me. I've tried every flavour and they go on to say, and the salted caramel is the best yet. Oh, I love salted caramel. Oh God. Get it out of the head. Yeah, a few people have mentioned these grenade bars. I'd never heard of them. Maybe you have. It might be a really good idea. I had a look online. They are a bit pricey, but we're not going to be absolutely tanking them, are we? We're going to be using them sensibly. And if it's a quick fix that we need, why not? So yeah, I might give these a go. I might have to take out a loan for. No, they're not that expensive, but certainly more expensive than a bar of Cadbury's, which isn't cheap either, is it? To be honest with you, so give them a go. That's something to look out for. And the next one leads on from the video from last week when I was talking about the different side effects that we can get with losing weight, and one of them, because of losing the subcutaneous fat, that we start feeling cold. And also, someone else pointed out, our bodies feel cold during a calorie deficit. Yeah, they do. When we're hungry, we can feel cold. When we've lost weight, we can feel cold. We've got not so much fat. And when we're not eating the calories, we burn calories as a fuel, don't we? And it sort of keeps our system running. So without those calories, we can feel colder. So that's a valid point as well, something to consider. And then the last point, the last bit of information that came from the community, which is a really good one for nausea, because I had a few mornings. It hasn't been so bad the morning, but we'll get to my week in a minute. Sniff an alcohol-soaked cotton pad. The ones you use to clean your shot sides are fine, or you can pour alcohol onto a cotton wool ball. It's a trick pregnant women know. This is brilliant. Now, I remember years ago in my training coming across something like this. It wasn't taught to me, but I've heard it, certainly probably speaking to a midwife or something. Now, I've got a feeling these, I don't know if these are a midwife. I haven't written who it was on here. Let me know if you are, or if you're just someone that's obviously had a baby and it was a tip passed on to you. But yeah, it's something worth knowing. Don't get overdoing it. Don't get like sniffing it too much. But if it works, brilliant. Let me know if it does actually. I've got some alcohol in the workshop. I'll have to dig it out. Not that type of alcohol. Well, yeah. I've stopped drinking even while I've been. I wasn't a big drinker anyway, but I don't fancy any drinks whatsoever. Give it a go. Be interesting to know if this works. I like that. Yeah, some good points, some good questions there. I'll do the questions and answers anytime, and I always try and respond to people when they put comments on. As you can see, I spend so long with the comments. If I've missed any, I really am sorry. If it's a really pressing point, like I said before, please get back in touch with me. Drop me a message on Messenger on Facebook as well if you really need to get through. But if it's really something serious, obviously speak to a doctor. I'll always say that, or someone that knows you medically. But I wanted to speak about how my week's been. So yeah, still on the 5 milligram jabs. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about dividing their jabs up in the week, and I have mentioned on the messages, on the comments, that I've got colleagues that are medically minded colleagues, medically trained nurses, even GPs, and they're not taking the Mounjaro as prescribed. That's on them. That's not guidance. That's not something that someone could actually say, oh, you can do this, it's fine. But I know, and I'm hearing that some people are getting very good results from not overdosing, not taking 5 and then another 5 when they should only be on a 5 a week. What they're doing is they're dividing it up. Sometimes they're taking 3.75 at the start of the week and then using the remainder halfway through the week. Now, this is where on the guidance from Eli Lilly, this is where this guidance gets a little bit muddied. But I can understand why it's not necessarily unsafe to do this. And I'm not saying go out and do this, but I'm saying if it's working for people, who am I to judge? Just be very cautious. And I've got to be honest, I've considered it myself with how the week's gone, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Eli Lilly's guidance says that do not have another dose of Mounjaro until 72 hours after the initial dose. Now, that is clear as mud. They are saying you only inject once a week, 1 dose once a week. But then they're saying, but you can actually inject further after 3 days, 72 hours. So I can understand why people are taking this information and splitting doses. I don't think prescribers don't agree with what people are doing, and the pharmacists that prescribe it don't, but Eli Lilly themselves are saying that it's not necessarily unsafe to have another dose as long as it's 3 days in between. Make of that what you will. I'm not in a position to guide you on that, but I'm just giving you the information. I find it really interesting. And getting through that onto how my week's been, it leads me up nicely because, again, 5 milligrams, it's not much different. I haven't found it much different to the 2.5s, honestly. Apart from that little bit of nausea, which is clearing up a little bit, I find that my food cravings come back. It's back on the Saturday again. So yesterday after work, got home on the evening and we had a takeout night. Now, I had a chop suey, which is literally just like wok fried. It was a special, so it had lots of meats in it. It had pork, chicken, beef, prawns, peppers, bean sprouts, water chestnuts, lots of quite healthy things. Now, the way it's cooked isn't necessarily healthy, but it was the healthy option. I didn't have what I used to have, like prawn balls in batter and all this sweet and sour sauce and no rice. Although my wife put a little bit of rice on the side. I couldn't eat it all either. She gave me half a carton of chop suey. Now, I've said this on my first or second video, when I'd have a Chinese, I could wallop everything that was put in front of me and I'd finish the wipes off. Easy. Now I ate half of it. And we'd planned to have this last night, to be honest with you. And it was a nice treat at the end of the week. And it's measured. It's not like, I've fallen off the wagon, let's just buy a Chinese or get a kebab. It was nothing like that. And it was something I enjoyed. And I've weighed this morning still. My weight's still coming off. We'll see how. I'm not going to weigh tomorrow. I've said I'm only doing twice a week. Some people don't do it at all, do they? So that was nice, but it was easy to have something last night. Didn't have any chow mein noodles or anything like that, but it was good. I'm waffling again. So that was my food cravings, but it filled a hole as well. Some of the nights have been a little bit, and it's the 5. So this is why I've even considered splitting the doses, but the jury's out. The jury's out on that one. There hasn't been much in the way of any other side effects this week. I always like to remind people of the serious side effects, so I'll put that up here whilst I'm chatting to you. With the other ones, things like constipation we've discussed, the nausea, I love the sound of that cotton wool swab. Just make sure that you're sipping water. It should pass. Any serious side effects, please make sure you get checked out. Don't leave it to chance. It doesn't hurt to get checked out, does it? Thank you again for tuning in. I really do appreciate everybody that's joined in with the community and given me the support. I'm trying to give that back as well and sharing the positivity, because we can all do this and it's nice just to have the support back and forth. You guys keep me going, so if I can help in keeping you going, that's what this is all about. So hopefully come and join me on Wednesday and we'll see how we're all getting on. Take care, have a good week.